upon the chairpersons, Dr. Tayu Manovan and Dr. Surendran, to come onto the stage and take their seats. We now have a state-of-the-art lecture by Dr. Ashok Chako.
Thank you, Dr. Loganathan. Majority of cases of acute pancreatitis that we see in clinical practice turns out to be mild to moderate. But occasionally, we do have cases of severe pancreatitis where we do depend upon the surgeon to do the pancreatic necrosectomy. To tell us all about this, today we have no other person than the former president of the Indian Society of Gastroenterology, Dr. Ashok Chako, who recently retired from CMC. Dr. Chako.
Thank you, Dr. Tayu Manovan, Dr. Surendran, and friends. I'd like to thank Dr. Loganathan for having invited me here to speak to you on acute pancreatitis, a historical perspective. I'd also like to thank Dr. Loganathan for having so carefully chosen this topic for me, because earlier he would give me talks on recent advances, but now that I have retired, he's probably delegated me to history. So anyway, what I will do in the next 20 or so minutes is to give you a historical perspective on pancreatic anatomy and physiology, then go on to acute pancreatitis and deal with the historical perspective on clinical presentation, etiopathogenesis, diagnosis, disease severity, and management. It was in 1925 that Lord Moynihan stated, acute pancreatitis is the most terrible of all calamities that occur in connection with abdominal viscera. The suddenness of its onset, the illimitable agony which accompanies it, and the mortality attendant upon it renders it the most formidable of catastrophes. I think it is the same today. Another thing that I learned while I went through history is that this morbidity and mortality not only affects the patient, but could also affect people who work on the pancreas. We will see about it as we go. The pancreas, as you know, has challenged the finest of scientific minds from Wirsung to Whipple for centuries. But the pace of scientific discovery has been slow. It is said that we need to know the past to understand the present and to plan for the future. So I believe it is important to recount lessons from the past as we explore the future through advances in molecular medicine, genetics, immunology, proteomics, etc. We'll start off with pancreatic anatomy. The earliest reference of the pancreas is in the Babylonian Talmud, which is the religious book of the Jews, in the year 600 BC. The pancreas was referred there as a finger of the liver. The initial anatomic description was by Greek anatomists Herophilus, Erasistratus, and Eudemus in 300 BC. I think we see these gentlemen here in cartoon form. Rufus of Ephesus named the organ pancreas. Pan is all, krias is flesh or meat, and it was called pancreas because there was no bone or cartilage, for the whole organ was only flesh or meat. Johann Wirsung